Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. There's always three sides to a story: your side, my side, then the truth. Well, as we speak, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has, for the first time, spoken from detention, using his special counsel, Aloy Ejimako. And of course, we have also actually heard the side of the government that he was arrested. Right now, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is telling the world how he was abducted. Then, of course, we're probably going through all this, other sources to find out, basically in analysis, what really is the truth. But before we go into the newspaper to find out this version of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's own story, we have heard the government story. This is now Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's own version. We'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you say bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, this credit goes to Premium Times because this is where we're getting it. Well, according to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the pro-Biafra group IPOB, has spoken for the first time from detention since he was arrested in Kenya and brought back to Nigeria about 3 weeks ago to face treason trial. He is detained in the facility of Nigerian Secret Police, the SSS, in Abuja. Mr. Kanu's special counsel, that's Aloy Ejimako, was allowed to meet with the IPOB leader on Wednesday inside the detention facility, where he reportedly spoke with him for about 3 hours. Mr. Jimako on Thursday morning shared with Premium Times, what that is an online platform and also a newspaper platform, what Mr. Kanu told him. There's Ejimako shared with Premium Times what Mr. Kanu told him. The people that abducted him said that they were told by their sponsors that Kanu was a Nigerian terrorist linked to the Islamic terrorists in Kenya, presumably Al-Shabaab. But after several days, when they discovered his true identity, they tended to treat him less badly. Despite that, they told him that they felt committed to hand him over to those that hired them, Mr. Jimako said. Now they went further. Al-Shabaab is a terrorist jihadist group based in East Africa and Yemen. For decades has been carrying out deadly attacks in Kenya. The Nigerian government have contracted a third party, probably outside the knowledge and involvement of the Kenyan government, for the interception, quote-unquote interception, of Mr. Kanu, going by the revelations from the IPOB leader. Mr. Kanu said he was held incommunicado and chained to a bare floor for 8 days in a nondescript private facility in Kenya. Well, according to Premium Times, he said there was no warrant of arrest that was shown to him or even mentioned to him, Ejimako said as well. Kanu was he said, I can take that again. So Kanu was in point of fact tortured and subjected to untold cruel and inhuman treatment in Kenya. He said his abductors disclosed to him that they abducted him at the behest of Nigerian government, the lawyer said. He was blindfolded and driven to tarmac very close to the plane without passing through the airport immigration. The plane departed Nairobi at about 12 p.m. and arrived Abuja in the evening. Kanu was flown to Abuja in the private jet on Sunday, 27th June 2021 from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Nairobi, and that he was the lone passenger, he also added. Mr. Jimako said Mr. Kanu was interviewed for the first time by 3 SSS officers in his presence. The interview was revealing as it contained certain new allegations that were never heard of before. But all the questions relate directly or indirectly to his status as the leader of IPOB. I observed, that's Ejimako saying now, I observed that despite what he has passed through, he was in high spirits and looked forward to overcoming the extraordinary rendition that brought him to Nigeria, the lawyer said. There's need for trial within trial, the lawyer said. In my assessment, Ejimako is now talking. He said, in my assessment of how the case now stands, I wager that before any court can subject Kanu to trial for any offences, it has to first conduct a trial within trial, and a grievous incident that forced him to leave Nigeria, and the equally grievous incident that forced him back to Nigeria. No court of law, conscience, and equity will overlook those two supervening incidents and proceed to trial, Mr. Jimako said. The Nigerian authorities have accused Mr. Khan of orchestrating the killings of about 60 people, including security officials in the country's southeast region. IPOB, which has been proscribed by the Nigerian government, has denied being responsible for the killings. Even while Mr. Kanu is in detention, two Nigerian soldiers were shot dead on Tuesday in Enugu, the country's southeast. The Nigerian army said in a statement that the soldiers were killed when members of the Eastern Security Network, a security arm of IPOB, attacked a military checkpoint. Mr. Kanu, a British Nigerian citizen, is known to have been residing in the United Kingdom after he jumped bail and fled Nigeria in 2017 during his trial for treasonable felony. His country home in the southeast had earlier been raided by Nigerian security forces before he fled the country. The Nigerian government is yet to disclose how Mr. Kanu was recently arrested. All right, but the credits, all credits right now goes to Premium Times. It was actually them that had direct contact with Jimako, the lawyer special counsel, a lawyer Jimako special counsel to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, where he had that interview for 3 hours with the IPOB leader in the presence of three SSS, DSS members. And this is quite a different one. Okay, we've heard where we heard the press release made by the representative of the federal government, how there was an interception, how it was official, interboundary, interception and all that. Said it was very legal. They had their letter. They said they had a letter and all that was properly done, followed due process. And now we didn't know the truth. That's the government part of the story. Now Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's side of the story, and he's saying totally something different. And now don't forget that there have been so much accusation going on that the government of Kenya is involved since when he was last seen was in Kenya. Right now, from what we have heard from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's part of the story, which was the interview conducted by Aloy, one of the counsels of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, also got credit also to Premium Times. We could deduce that his story is way different from the story the federal government gave, and now there has to be some sort of standpoint. With this standpoint, Kenyan government is actually exonerated because judging by it, they didn't even know that Nnamdi Kanu came into the country. It's not every individual they will know exactly when they come. At least the president didn't know. And the process of him coming out of Kenya based on Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's part of the story is different. Okay, they didn't go through immigration, so they probably may not have known, that such a thing was taking place from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's part of the story. But let's meet in our comment section, please. No hate words. What's your take? It's getting a bit different, and now Aloy Jimako is saying before the trial itself, there has to be another trial within the trial.